Hello everyone, I hope that you guys are doing well wherever you're at. Greetings from Oklahoma City. Today I'm going to focus on how to grow spiritually, mature spiritually. And one of those aspects has to do with how to confront somebody else, especially when you're in a moment that somebody hurt you really bad or really deep in your feelings. And so there are principles that the Bible talks about, and I'm going to go over 5 principles today of how to act whenever somebody hurts you and how to fight with that person in order to win a stronger relationship, not to break the relationship. Because James chapter 1 verse 20 talks about that the rage of man is not always the right approach. God has other ways in resolving issues. And so step number 1 is don't fight while you're in a moment of anger. Okay, Ephesians chapter 4 verse 26 says that it's okay for you to get mad, just don't sin by doing so. This means, yeah, it's okay to be angry, but you don't want to hurt the other person physically, even though you might feel that you want to. That would be wrong to do so. Or sometimes instead of just getting mad, you want to get even, and that's where you start sinning against God and against your neighbor or the person that did you wrong. Proverbs 14:17 talks about that those who get angry very easily tend to do crazy things. Okay, and so you don't want to be that person that gets angry and just gets out of control. Proverbs 15:1 talks about how those who know how to give a tender answer to an argument actually bring down the anger of the other person involved. And so rule number 1 when you're having an argument with someone, don't do it while you're in a moment of anger or rage, because you're going to tend to do something that you're going to regret later on. Number 2 is always do it alone. If you're going to talk to someone who really hurt you, whether it be a brother or sister or friend, your dad or mom, try to talk to them while only you two are in a room or in a place. Obviously, you don't want to do it with a person of opposite sex. You want to have someone always there to kind of keep you accountable. So don't do it with a person that's opposite sex by yourselves in your bedroom. You definitely don't want to do that. But you do want to be able to talk to that person, in a public setting, but just being the two of you talking. And this is important because it's not only helpful, but it's also biblical. In Matthew 18:15, we have an example of how Jesus wants us to talk to one another, especially to resolve issues, and we should do it by ourselves. You'd never want to involve third parties. And why do I say this? Because whenever there's people around and you're having an argument with an individual, then you're going to tend to not want to talk to resolve the issue, but rather to win. And winning an argument is not always resolving the argument. Okay, and so it just becomes a competition about who's right and who wins the argument. And you never want to do that. That's why you shouldn't include third persons or third parties in your discussion, because if you do so, then you make the argument a bigger deal. You're going to start more drama, and then other people are going to get a bad perception of the person that you're fighting against, and even yourself. So you definitely don't want to involve third parties in this. The other thing that you want to do is argue for one thing at a time. Don't talk about everything or all of it at once. You want to have some kind of focus, because if you fight over that one thing, then you can find a resolution to the one thing that you're talking about. But if you start remembering the past and finding out what this person did to you a while back, and that person brings back other things from the past, then you're just piling on conflict over conflict over conflict, and you're never going to find a solution for that. So always talk about one thing at a time. And the last one, number 5, try not to kill the relationship. Matthew chapter 18, verse 22 talks about just forgiveness. Forgive one another as much as 70 times 7. 70 times 77 times. Ephesians chapter 4:26 says, don't let the devil win. Okay? So what I mean about not killing the relationship is, don't use words that are really going to keep you from having a relationship with that person in the future. Like saying, I hate you and I never want to see you again. Those are hurtful words that that person will remember for the rest of their lives. And if they're not related to you, then they might just walk away from your life. Now, if the relationship that you're having is a toxic one, then yes, you definitely want to be apart from that person. But especially if you're talking about a sibling or you're talking about your dad or mom, you definitely don't want to use the word I hate you, I don't want to see you again. Don't kill off those relationships. Those are very important. So don't do anything like that. So today we've gone over 5 steps on how to maintain a relationship, have a fight, and actually win by making the relationship stronger. And those 5 steps are: don't fight while you're in anger. Always try to resolve the conflict by talking to the person by yourself. Don't involve third parties or a third person. Remember that always keep focused on fighting for one thing or arguing for one thing at a time. And last, do not try to kill the relationship. I hope that this helps you. I know it's easier said than done, but I know that these are maturing steps in faith and also maturing just to be a good son or daughter for God. Thank you. You have a blessed day.